Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Most Chinese young people grew up without having to experience any war. However, that does not mean that we always live in peace. Rather, we often experience various kinds of problems that breed bitterness, inequality, and animosity. Peace is under threat not only because these problems may lead to conflict, confrontation, and even real war, but also because they destroy the peace in our heart. Just look around on our campus. One day last semester, my classmate told me during a chat, "My parents are coming to see me and we are having this big dinner." I was glad and asked, "Oh great, what restaurant? I know a great buffet place just not far off campus." He smiled without saying a word. To my surprise, his big dinner turned out to be nothing but a few meat dishes, cooked at home by his parents, brought over after long hours of train ride, and then microwaved in the university canteen. As I figured out later, he was from the country and to save money, always bought the cheapest dishes in the canteen. So that dinner was still a feast for him, compared with the cabbages and potatoes he normally had. Later, to make this friend of mine feel better, I tried to invite him to my birthday party, and we had dinner in a restaurant. But things turned out opposite to my wishes. He was quiet, embarrassed, as if he had owed me something. Later, he posted on social media, "Why is God so unfair? Why am I always seen as being different and as the recipient of help?" Now, I was the one who felt guilty, and neither he nor I had peace in mind. Just like me, most of us on campus may fail to see the wide gap in wealth, and as a result, may live in a mirage of peace. The truth is that we are suffering from a widening gap between the rich and the poor, and such inequality may breed crime and give rise to social conflict. Peace, therefore, is under threat. To bring peace to the world, we have to work on the root cause of social conflict, and we should start right on campus. This semester, my university opened up many posts for students who need income, and my classmate is now a part-time shop assistant at a campus grocery. By earning a wage with his own labor, he feels comfortable and confident. And I like to buy groceries at his shop when he is there, and he's glad to treat me with a snack spot with his own money. Now, in front of my classmates and others who work part-time, I feel embarrassed since I still use my parents' money. And every time we talk about having a big dinner or even ordering a big takeout, we would become hesitant. Instead, we are talking about doing part-time jobs and offering voluntary services. Yes, while we are making progress on campus, we know there are many more and more serious problems in the world of campus. I'm now a member of a students' volunteers group that is planning to use this summer to help villages' children gain access to computer and the internet so that they could watch online open courses. And my assignment is to collect fun math puzzles to be installed on their computers. While our work may not change the financial situations of their families, they would know as they struggle with life and study that they are not alone, but in the thoughts of many others. And at the same time, we are learning to lead a meaningful life by helping with the growth of others. Together, we live in a world of peace and care. Peace is not the absence of war. And to truly live in peace in the absence of war, we must make sure that love, care, and goodwill prevail in every aspect of life. So we should all work hard to achieve peace in our heart, among people, and in society. Thank you.
It was very interesting. Your speech was very different from the other speeches we've had. And it was very homely. Isn't much of our problem in this world that we don't look at our own background and we don't look at our own country, we always look at somebody else's country and try and put that right instead of putting right what is at home. Would you comment on that?
Thank you for a question. It's a great one because it reminds me that some of the problems, such as poverty and inequality, I'm getting inspired from a question because these problems are not just Chinese problems. These problems occur in many countries and regions in the world, but we can always tackle it with our love, care, and goodwill. For example, just in the United Kingdom, before Christmas, a child in a school didn't get any Christmas gift from his parents because his parents were having financial difficulties and couldn't afford any. So later, all the teachers and other classmates managed to buy this kid Christmas presents, but anonymously, so that they were sent to a location and they just called their parents with the public phone that you have a present here, and you can go get it. So by doing this anonymously, the kid gets a Christmas gift and without being hurt with his respect. So I believe we can tackle these problems, these poverty problems, with our love and good care. That is just not a Chinese problem. And I'm offering Chinese solutions as well as global solutions. Thank you.
You mentioned tainting someone's self-respect by offering them a hand and not taking that into account. Do you think sometimes we allow our pride or our own self-respect get in the way of maybe taking help that we might need to progress as a country or as individuals?
Well, thank you. Yes, it's inspiring again because we must not tackle the problem just from this individual perspective. Our governments are helping, actually. For example, in China, yes, the eastern part of China is quite developed. You have major cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou. However, the western part of China is relatively underdeveloped. So since the last century, our government has been taking measures to deal with poverty in the western part of China called the Great Development in the East, so that people in all China are enjoying a relatively more equal society. People can live their walks of life without these worries about being in poverty, suffering from these things, and they can lead their lives for freedom. Yes. So I believe, yes, we can tackle the problem from the individual perspectives with our own love and care. And our governments are actually helping us to deal with these problems. For example, taxes and social welfare systems. So I say let's keep it. Thank you. Yes, please.
Your emphasis, you've mentioned a lot about love, care, and goodwill, and it's almost philosophical. But one perhaps, I don't claim to be an expert here, but perhaps Buddhism is one faith, I'll call it faith now, just in absence of a better word, that proposes inner peace, if you will. But then we still see within those areas that there's still inter-religious conflict between Buddhists and other groups. So isn't there a problem with that notion of just peace and goodwill, perhaps? Inner peace and goodwill, I meant to say.
Well, thank you. I believe that peace, goodwill, and caring for other people are not just the principles of Buddhism. They're actually the principles for every kind of great religions we have in this world. So I believe, yes, all religions have these common purposes, and they see things from different perspectives. And all we have to do is to just sit down and having conference with each other, so that we know that we have these common purposes and we have these basic principles of love and care. So yes, we can tackle the problems, of course, including poverty, but many other problems, with our government's help, with our own striving, and of course, with for many religious people with their religion. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.